back, folks, to another episode of The Outside Noise. I am your host, Taylor Hodges with HottyToddy.com, and today it's the start of another week, and it's going to be an eventful week. We had the women's NCAA championship game yesterday. We got the men's tonight. We also got the start or the opening of the women's basketball transfer portal, and then the men's is going to open up tomorrow. So it's going to be a very busy week, and on top of that, we have Ole Miss baseball Tuesday night and this weekend against LSU, which always that should be it's now a top 25 matchup. So there's going to be some stuff to talk about there. But yeah, whole lot of stuff to talk about. So let's just get into it. So, and let's start with baseball, shall we? So we all know Ole Miss won their weekend series against Florida. And if you saw my last video on this channel, I got the prediction right. I just didn't get which game Florida would wind up winning. But Ole Miss got the weekend series win, and I guess big picture, that's a good thing because it brought them back into the rankings in at least one of the major polls, which was surprising, by the way. A little tangent time. I was surprised that it was D1 Baseball that put Ole Miss back into their top 25 and not Baseball America. I don't think it's really nothing specific or any detail analytical reason or anything like that. It's just that Baseball America was very high on Ole Miss to start the season and kept Ole Miss in the top 25 rankings up until I believe when they fell out of the top 25 after getting swept at home by Mississippi State, which fair enough, that was deserving. But I wasn't sure if Ole Miss was going to get back into the top 25 today, being Monday with the new polls, but they were in D1 Baseball and not Baseball America. So I just find it a little bit weird, and not like in a conspiratorial, something's fishy, wrong way. It's just hey, this is something to note, something interesting to just note. So, all right, tangent over. Back to the actual baseball. So, what did we see this weekend from Ole Miss that we liked? Well, first off, I think we learned that this team has the pitching staff to do some very serious damage. And they don't need a red hot offensive lineup to, carry Ole Miss through the NCAA regional and maybe even through the super regionals should they get that far. I think the SEC tournament they'll be fine with. They have multiple guys they have a solid two ace pitchers that they can throw out, and then they have a couple of guys that have starts this season to varying degrees of success. Although I will say I think that they do have their third weekend starter identified now in Taylor Rabe. He got that first win on Thursday. Looked really good. Was hitting. I think at one point I saw something that said he hit 99 miles an hour on the radar gun during that game. So that's good. So that part is good. We learned that about this team, and we didn't really learn this part, but because we already knew it. But the hitting is a concern. This team was always going to live and die by the home run. Either home runs or strikeouts. That's what they do, and you can see it in other teams in the SEC that it works for. Go look at what Georgia just did to Mississippi State in Starkville. They swept, and that's what Georgia does is they hit home runs. They hit a lot of them. I think it's 93 is the low number. That's the standings. 93 home runs, I believe, is what I saw Georgia had after the weekend. So it's a strategy that can work, but you have to do it. You have to have it consistently. It came through in a clutch moment this weekend for Ole Miss when Judd Udemark hit that home run in the top of the ninth inning of Saturday's finale to tie the game, and then the rest of the lineup did enough, got a few more runs across the plate to win that game and the series. but it was awfully close because before that there was, I think, at one point 20 innings without a run scored in a weekend series. That's not gonna cut it. And I mean, 20 innings. You got. I mean, do the math real quick. Regular baseball game is 9 innings. 9 times 3 is 27. So there was a whole game at least in there where Ole Miss didn't score a run, and obviously it's that Saturday game where Florida sent out Aiden King and just shut down the Rebels completely. So that's a concern, but I think the main takeaway for at least Ole Miss is that you got the pitching, and you just need to hit the offense to. It would be nice if they got hot here, maybe over the next month and a half, heading into the SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament. Because again, they got the pitching staff. They just need the offense. And I know it's very simple and easy to sit here behind a computer screen and say that, but that is the truth of the matter. So, yeah. So we'll get into a little bit more about the actual midweek game and then the LSU series tomorrow and throughout the week. But for now, that's just kind of the main takeaways is from the weekend series against Florida. But let's take a look at the SEC as a whole for what happened this weekend, because it was kind of a weird, awkward weekend. I mean, first off, you got Missouri winning an SEC series against Kentucky. Kentucky was ranked number 24 at the time for that series. Obviously, the Wildcats now are not even ranked. But that's just crazy. I mean, Missouri last year didn't even win an SEC game, and now they're winning an SEC series against a ranked Kentucky team. But then throw in what Georgia did at Duty Noble Field, where they set attendance records, as often as the sun comes up. Like that, you just don't see that very often. And then, throw in what Ole Miss did at Florida, Alabama beating Oklahoma. You even had South Carolina win a game against Texas. Texas wound up winning the series, but again, South Carolina's at the bottom of the standings for a reason, and them beating Texas at least once is noteworthy. Other action, you got Texas A&M winning its series 2-1 against Vanderbilt. Same thing for Auburn against Arkansas. Which let's just stop right there and point to Arkansas and Vanderbilt and kind of like. I guess they're having down seasons compared to where they normally are in, the standings and rankings and things like that. Vanderbilt's 19-14 this season, and Arkansas is, I have it right here, 20-13. In terms of the RPI, Vanderbilt's sitting all the way down at number 95, and Arkansas is at number 56. When was the last time we saw that? And then, it's just, and then throw in whatever Tennessee is, or not Tennessee, excuse me, whatever LSU is this year, whether they're good, bad, or somewhere in between, who really knows. They just hit 4 home runs, had one guy hit 4 home runs in one game in the series finale against Tennessee. So who knows what that is. And I think, frankly, I love it. It's a lot of fun just to sit here and be like, what? I'm going to keep going back to Missouri beating the series against Kentucky, and that's just one of those things. It's just like, it's crazy. It's crazy. And it's going to really make the SEC standings a jumbled mess. It's kind of already there right now. I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teams between 5 and 7 wins in a 16-team conference. It's crazy. No one's undefeated. I think it's Georgia has the best conference record at 10-2. Texas is at 9-3, and then Alabama's at 8-4. And then after that, you start getting into all the 7-win, 6-win, 5-win teams, and then down at the bottom, it's Vanderbilt. No, not Vanderbilt. It's down at the bottom. Excuse me. It's Tennessee, Missouri, South Carolina, which kind of it's. it's going to be a fun month and a half. Let's just say that and leave it at that before we get into any more trouble. But yeah, jumbled mess. Going to be a fun month and a half. And yeah, hey, it's SEC for you. It just means more, right? More chaos is what they mean. And money. Okay. So, as I already mentioned, today is also the start of the NCAA, or let me rephrase that. Today, the women's NCAA transfer portal window opens up. For Ole Miss, we've only seen, and really it's just reported right now, that I haven't seen anything that officially says that they've actually entered the transfer portal, but we're expecting just 2 Rebels right for now to enter the portal, and that's Jadora Young and Tiana Thompson. Again, I haven't double checked I haven't checked in the past 30 minutes or so, but those are the 2 players that we're expecting to see. And we already know that Sierra Thanu is coming back next season, which that was probably, in terms of retaining players, that was the most important one to bring back, because she's such a good defensive player, and we saw the impact she can have on that team. We saw the team without her, and then we saw her in the NCAA tournament, and it was clear, like, that. I think it was Coach Yo who said it at some point, maybe after the NCAA tournament, that if they had Sierra for the end of the regular season, that they would have hosted an NCAA regional. And then, hey, once you're the host team, anything can happen. I mean, you saw the advantage Minnesota had hosting its regional and winning that regional final game against Ole Miss. So it's not nothing, but just going to mention that right there. That's starting today. I haven't seen any major surprises. I think at about 10:15 this morning, 10:15 Monday morning, over 900 names had already entered the transfer portal. So, yeah, strap in rather. It's gonna be crazy. I had the thought, we have March Madness that has kind of already spilled over into April, and it's just going to continue. The madness is going to continue for at least another 2 weeks until the transfer portal windows close. I don't think it's going to be as high flying, fast and crazy as the football version, but it's going to be some craziness in there, especially for the Ole Miss teams, because both are expected to be very active in the transfer portal this offseason. So that's going to be it for today. We'll be back later throughout the week with more stuff, more updates, more opinions, and provide the outside noise that everybody knows and loves. So once again, Taylor Hodges here for HottyToddy.com. Hope y'all have a great and safe rest of your Monday. And we'll see you tomorrow.